Yeah, all right. Good evening, everybody. If you can see my face and hear my voice, just type one in the comment section. If you can see my face and you can hear my voice, just type one in the comment section. Beautiful. I will not be okay. Wonderful. So, I just want to quickly go to the point we want to make today because I have another class after this class. I have another class after this class. So, let's move. Okay. So we've said so many things. We talk about we are staying on different ways to trade trending markets. When we talk about the market structure or market pattern, market structure, we're talking about the direction of the market. When the market is making higher highs and higher low, it is an uptrend. And therefore, you look for opportunities to buy. And then we say when the market is making series of lower highs and lower low, it is said to be on a downtrend, and therefore we look for opportunities to sell. And when the market is moving sideways, it's not up, it's not down, but then we have a wide gap between the support and resistance. When the market is moving between the fixed resistance and support, it is said to be in a ranging market or a sideways market. Therefore, we buy at support, we sell at resistance. So we said, okay, let's break it down because we said, therefore, look for opportunities to buy. Therefore, look for opportunity to sell. So how do we get these opportunities is what we've been talking about. And then we said, first of all, we explain moving average cross, where we have the red line, the blue line, and the black line. The red line is moving average, exponential moving average 10, and then exponential moving average 50, which is the blue, and exponential moving average 200, which is the black. And we said, when the red line cross the blue line from down up, you buy. When the red line cross the blue line from up down, you sell. When the red and the blue line cross the black line from down up, you buy. When the red and the blue line cross the black line from up down, you sell. It's a very strong sell. Then there's something called ADX, which I was supposed to add to that moving average, which I've not actually done. One of these days, is time still permit, we're going to do it. But then we moved further to say, okay, to also trade, and we said that is one way to trade a trending market, is one way of trading trending market, is a way to trade trending market. So we said another way to trade trending market is using of trend line from the word trending, trend line. And then we said we have trend line bounce. Trend line bounce means when you have your so every time you see an obvious support or resistance, sorry, when you see your obvious peaks and troughs, when you see obvious peaks and trough are your higher highs and higher lows, and then you see your lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower low. Each time you see the peaks, just join the obvious ones, just join your trend lines. Join your trend line and watch in the future if price is going to respect it. That is bounce. When price respects a trend line, it's called a bounce. So that means when price get to that trend line, it's bouncing back. It's bouncing back. Okay? When price gets, so we call it trend line bounce. And then we look at, so when you draw your trend line, your point one, your point two, at the third touch of the trend line, we'll be watching out if price will respect it. If you respect it, then you take trade in that direction. Now we want to look at the another thing today when price does not respect it. When price does not respect your trend line, and that's what I want us to look at today. So let me quickly take you to that, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, continue. Okay. So let me quickly share my screen with you. Okay, let me share my screen with you. So let's look at this for a moment. Okay, can you see my screen now? So let's go deeper. Now we have talked about trend line bounce. We have talked about trend line bounce. What I want to talk about this morning or this evening rather, okay, is trend line breakout. Trend line breakout. Okay, trend line breakout. If you can see my screen, if you might see my screen, type trend line breakout in the comment section. Just write TLBS. Just type TLBS in the comment section. If you can see my screen, type TLBS in the comment section. Trend line breakout strategy. TLBS in the comment section. If you can see my screen. Very good, very good. Trend line breakout strategy. Because that's how I quote it. If you check beautiful, beautiful. Because if you check somewhere around here, you will see where I wrote TLBS. Did you see TLBS? TLBS. See that there's so trend line breakout strategy. So, but before we get there, so let's come here. Why trend line breakout? We've talked about when it does not break. When it does not break is one I taught you last week. When trend line is respected, when the price respects the trend line, we call it trend line bounce. Now, when price does not respect the trend line, we call it trend line breakout. Trend line breakout, that means the trend line is broken out. So why trend line breakout is a potential signal for trend reversal. Trend reversal. Okay, so when trend line is no more getting obeyed, is a signal that look, the current trend is about to break in the opposite direction. It's called trend line breakout. Now, number two, it signals the start of a new massive price movement. It signals the start of a new massive price movement. Now, listen, there's something about a professional trader. A professional trader is someone who wants to catch the move from the very beginning, So when you see, like impulsive movement, I talked to you impulsive movement, then pullback or correction or retracement. Do impulsive movement, pullback, impulsive movement, and come out before the end of it. You want to catch an impulsive movement at the beginning. You want to catch a move at the beginning of an impulsive movement, and before the impulsive movement ends, it comes out of it. That's the day trader. That is the day trader. I don't know whether I've explained different kind of traders to you. Number one, we have the scalper. The scalper are people who trade on a very low time frame, on 1 minute, 5 minutes. Okay, they are scalpers. They don't stay long on a trade. They stay 10, 15, 20 minutes on the trade and they are out of the market. It's very few minutes. Very few minutes. Maximum of 30 minutes on the trade, they are out of the trade. They are called scalpers. Okay, scalpers. They don't stay long. They use 5 minutes, 1 minute, maximum of 15 minutes to analyze their charts. Okay, that's a scalper. Number two, we have a day trader. A day trader is someone who open trades and close that trade within the same trading day. Day trader. Okay, so when you open a trade today, maybe those are the ones that trade sessions. They trade New York session. They trade they trade, Asian sessions. Those are sessional traders. They are called day traders. Okay, they don't stay beyond a day on the trade. Within 24 hours, they have opened trades. They have closed the trade. You can even open multiple trades and close the trade within 24 hours. That is a day trader. The third kind of category of trader, they are called swing traders. A swing trader. A swing trader is someone that rides on a swing that follow the trend of the market until there's a reversal in the trend in the on the present trend. So when the market is making higher and higher low, a swing trader remains on that trend until there's a reversal in the direction of the market. That's a swing trader. He follows the swing, he follows the trend of the market. He doesn't come in, go out. He stays in the market, enjoys the pullback, and then price go up, price goes down, it's still in the market. It can be on the trade for a week or two. It can be on the trade for 3 weeks. It can be on the trade for as long as the trend remains in effect. As long as that trend remains in that direction, that is a swing trader. And of course, we have investors. Investors are not necessarily the ones who look at charts to enter trade. They are more of fundamental analysts. They just invest, buy a stock, invest in a company. Maybe when the stock falls, they buy it and then in hope that it will rise, and then it rises in the future. Those one can stay years. Those one can literally stay years on a trade. They can buy stock of Apple and for 4 5 years, they're still there. So those are the categories of trader, kinds of trader we have. We have the scalper, we have the day trader, and we have the swing trader, then we have the investors. We have the investors. Are you still there? Are you still there? Are you still there? If you are there, type 2 in the comment section. If you are there, type 2 in the comment section. If you can see hear my voice, please type 2 in the comment section. Let me be sure you are listening to me. If you can hear my voice, please type 2 in the comment section. Type 2. Just type 2 in the comment section. Okay, beautiful. So let's continue. All right. So we said, why should we consider trend line breakout? We said it is a potential signal for trend reversal. Potential signal for trend reversal. Trend reversal means, so why did I explain what I explained to you the other time? Now, when trend is reversing, a professional trader is paying attention because he wants to catch the move from the very beginning. So trend line breakout could signify the beginning of a new trend. Okay, and then number 2, it is the start of a new massive price movement. So therefore, trend line breakout strategy worth giving attention to. So therefore, trend line breakout strategy worth giving attention to. So all right, so let's combine things together. Now, the trend line strategy, which is the bounce, the one I've taught you before, TLS, trend line strategy. That's trend line bounce, the one I taught you last week. Now, the one I want to teach you now, trend line breakout strategy. Both have tendency of giving you early entries and plenty pips in your favor. Early entries, plenty pips in your favor, even up to 1,000 pips and more. Even up to 1,000 pips and more. When you combine both trend line strategy and trend line breakout strategy together, they will work like magic. They work crazy like magic. In fact, I've used these strategies combined with support resistance to make a higher percentage of my profit from the market. Okay, like this morning now, I traded gold very early before gold starts changing direction around 9:30. Was it 9:30 or around that 9 or before 9, around that 9? That eating, it might take probably already eat before direction start changing, because I think direction started changing in the New York session, but that was around 9 London session. I've already taken that trade. So you see, and what did I use? Trend line breakouts. It was TLBS, trend line breakout strategy together that I used. So when you combine trend line strategy and trend line breakout strategy together, they work like magic. They are complementary to each other. They are complementary to each other. If one does not work, the other will work. So trend line strategy is a trading system based on the obedience of trend line. Please listen to that. I say when price respect the trend line. So trend line strategy, which is the one you learned last week, is a trading system based on the obedience of trend line. While the opposite is the trend line breakout strategy, when the price breaks through the trend line. So let's look at the next slide. So there are 4 setups to look for in trend line breakout strategy. There are 4 setups you look for. There are 4 setups you look for in trend line breakout strategy. 4 strategies that you look for. Okay, and here are the 4 strategies. Here are the 4 strategies. These are the pattern that you look for. The pattern that you look for in trend line strategies. The pattern that you look for. So beautiful. The pattern that you look for in trend line trading, trend line breakout strategies. So let's get there. So we have immediate breakouts. immediate breakout. So when you draw your trend line, look at your obvious troughs. 1, 2, obvious trough. And then you draw your trend line. Now you're expecting that, okay, maybe when price gets here, price is going to respect it and bounce. Or price is going to obey it and bounce up. But now that didn't happen. It's breaking out. Trend line is breaking out. So there's a trend line breakout here. So what do we do? As immediately the trend line breakouts, I'm going to teach you how to enter the trade. And then you can see price broke it out and then it just moved away without coming back. Okay, so that's on the sell. Then we have another sell here now. Price, you have drawn your two obvious troughs. You draw a trend line and then price broke it out and later came to that trend line it pulled back to the trend line. Okay, retest, we call it breakout and retest, breakout and retest, trend line breakout and retest. So price came back to retest the trend line before continuing to move downwards. Okay, then we have the bullish movement to here. Price, we have the obvious peaks, the obvious peaks like this. We have the lower high and lower high, lower high, lower high. And then we draw a trend line and then price broke through. And immediately price broke through, you enter your trade and then you see price just keep rallying up, And then we have the fourth one too. For a sell, we have two peaks have been drawn, and then on the third touch of the trend line, price broke through the trend line, and then before moving so far away from the trend line, it came and price came and retest the trend line, and then before continuing to move in the up direction. Hope you understand what I'm talking about. So this is the thing you screenshot now and study, paste it somewhere in your room or where you usually analyze your market, and watch out for this pattern. Watch out for this market pattern. So we call them trend line breakout strategy. So we have I call it TLBS. TLBS. That's the personal name I give to it. TLBS. Trend line breakout strategy. And look at it here. Look at it here. Look at it here. Point one, that is 2 peaks. I've drawn my 2 peaks here, point one, here, point two. Here, point one, here, point two. And I watch in the future. In the future, price broke the trend line, move up, pull back a little, and then price begin to rally up. Okay, price continue to go up. So this is called trend line breakout strategy, because price did not obey this trend line. Rather, price broke out my trend line and then begin to move to the opposite. Begin to move in the opposite direction. So you can see that this trend line signifies the beginning of a new trend, a trend reversal. Price has been selling before, has been making lower highs and lower low, lower highs and lower low, and all of a sudden, price broke to the upside. Price broke the trend line and then began to rally up. This is an indication. The break of the trend line, in some cases or in many cases, is a signal that trend is trying to reverse to the opposite direction. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? So let's go further. Here, you see the same thing. I draw my my two troughs. I've joined my two troughs together. Here, point one, here, point two. And in the future, I saw that, look, my trend line is broken. My trend line is broken. And so what do? I know that this uptrend is coming to an end. I got to look for how to sell. I got to look for sell right here. And so at the close of my trend line, I enter a trade and the price moves downwards and downwards. Okay, so this is trend line breakout. Sometimes price does not respect or price does not obey the trend line. Rather, it disobeys it. It breaks through it. So when it breaks through, we call it trend line breakout strategy. See, this works like magic. When I say speaking, this works like magic. You don't need, see, listen, trading is is trading is simple, but it's hard. Trading is simple, but it's very hard. It's simple. See, you don't have to complicate strategies. Very simple. In fact, what I've taught you, if this is all you know, trend line breaker strategy, trend line TLS or TLBS, if that's all you know from the market, is enough to make you consistently profitable. And I promise you that. It's not to make you consistently profitable. See, I know people that this is all they know and they have made it big. They made it big. They have made stupendous profit. Very simple. But see, the hard part of it is that it's simple, but it's hard. It's simple in the sense that it's not complicated. It's hard because you need to discipline yourself to follow it. So great things in life could be very simple. I'm telling you, very simple, very simple. See, to make profit in the market, your strategy. See, you can have these most simplest strategies in the world, but then because of psychology, that's the psychology part of the problem. The psychology part of the trading is what makes trading look so difficult. Now look at it. What is difficult in drawing trend line, and when it breaks out, you go in the direction of the breakout, and or when it bounces, you just follow it, just follow the market. What is difficult there? No, nothing is difficult there. But then it takes a lot of discipline, the psychology, to be able to stay consistent with it. So let's go to the next thing. Okay, so I have next slide rather. So I have my point one, my point two, my point one, maybe point two, several points here. A consolidation here. Then let's say point one, point two, point three. Then price broke it out. The moment price broke it out here, you take your buy and can see price is rallying up. This is amazing. This is remarkable. This is remarkable. So you have trend line breakout, boom, price broke to the upside, and then it continues to rally up. Price continues to rally up, and it just pump, and it just going like that, like that. So this is TLBS. This is trend line breakout strategy. So you look at it from here too. I draw my line point one, point two, and at the third touch, okay, price broke through the trend line. You can see, bang, it just keeps selling and keeps selling. And this could be pips in their thousands because this is gold and this is 1 hour. This could be up to like 2,000 pips, and that is crazy movement. And what gives us the insight to that price is about to move down? Because trend line was broken. Trend line was broken. And then we said earlier that trend line breakouts here, all of a sudden you start to sell. So when you draw trend line breaks out, is an indication that price is about to go in the opposite direction. It's about to go in the opposite direction. So what do? You follow it, and that's it. You follow it. Okay. So now let me take you to the next slide. Pay attention to significant trend line because market moves far and fast when significant trend line is broken. I like this. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Are you hearing my are you still seeing my screen? Are you still seeing my screen? If you can see my screen, not my face now. If you can see my screen, type 3. Type yes in the comment section. If you cannot see my screen, type no in the comment section because the screen beside me here that I'm using to confirm my face is not showing my screen anymore. If you can see my screen, type yes in the comment section. If you cannot, type no in the comment section. I'm waiting. If you can see my screen, the notes, the not my face now. I mean, if you can see my screen, my slide. If you can see my slide, type yes. If you can't, type no in the comment section. All right. Someone is not seeing. So let me try and reshare. Let me see if I can reshare my screen with you. And that's the issue as you have with life, with live class. Okay. I want to believe you should. Okay, now you should be able to see my screen now. You should see my so you should be able to see my screen now. You should be able to see my screen now. So pay attention to significant trend line because market moves fast and fast. Market moves far and fast when significant trend line is broken. When significant trend line is broken, market move fast and far. Now, the significant trend line are the ones drawn from significant peaks and troughs found on higher time frame, 1 hour time frame, and upwards. Significant time frame, significant trend line are the ones drawn from significant peaks and troughs from 1 hour time frame upwards. Okay, so the more times trend line is obeyed, those are the notes I need you to those are the things I need to take notice of. Okay, the more times the trend line is obeyed, the stronger it is, and the market move fast from it when broken. I like that. I like that. See, this last statement, I'll take a whole class to come and teach you what it means. Last year, this strategy alone, this last statement alone, in 2025, fetched me more money than anything else. The more a trend line is obeyed, the stronger it is, and the market moves far from it when broken. I like it. That is the whole class on its own. And I have a strategy on it. Is another slide downwards. Okay, so before we get there, that's where we're going to be stopping for today. So I have 4 more slides to share with you. Okay, 4 more slides to share with you. So gentle trend lines are more reliable than steeper ones. Gentle trend lines are more reliable than steeper ones. Gentle trend line. I'm waiting for my slide to change. Okay, gentle trend lines are more reliable than steeper ones. The steeper the trend line, the more unreliable it may be, because price may not be able to sustain the steepness. Okay, gentle trend lines are more reliable than steeper ones. The steeper the trend line, the more unreliable it may be, because price may not be able to sustain the steepness. May not be able to sustain the steepness. We have a typical example of that recently. As soon as the war started, you can see price of crude oil jumped up very crazily, but it could not be sustained on that jumping up. Then it started coming down and coming down. So they say, oh, Dangote has increased the price. Now Dangote is reducing the price again. You know why? Because even though price has not come back to where it was before Dangote increased the price, you know, fuel has not come back to it, but then it could not sustain moving like that, and then it has to have a pullback, and then a pullback and an impulsive movement, and a pullback and impulsive movement. that's how this thing works. So you understand? So when price first of all jumped up, it jumped up. Oh, Dangote has reduced the price again. They reduced it for like by maybe like 20 naira or 30 naira. Then it jumps again, then they reduce it again, they pull back an impulsive movement, they pull back, These are just pull back in the prices. So let me take 2 more slides, then we end the class here. How to enter trades with trend line breakouts. How do you enter trade with trend line breakouts? Okay, how do you enter trade with trend line breakouts? Okay, number 1, enter at few pips on top or below the trend line breakout candlesticks with sell stop or buy stop. Okay, so what do you do when you see trend line broke out? Number 1, allow that candle to close. Wait for the candlestick to close at the touch of the trend line on your chosen time frame. So when trend line break, wait for that. Wait for the price to close. That candlestick that breaks the trend line, allow it to close. Allow that candlestick to close. Don't enter the trade while candlestick is still forming, even if it remains 2 minutes before it forms. Allow it to close. Allow the candlestick that break the trend line to close, on your chosen time frame. Usually choose a time frame that you stick with. Okay. So, now place sell stop or buy stop. Okay, sell stop or buy stop. I don't know if you have learned how to do sell stop or buy stop. Now, I will teach you that in one of the next classes. Okay, so place sell stop or buy stop a few pips above or below the intersecting candlestick. So when a candlestick breaks the trend line, the tip, the wick of that trend line, the wick of that candlesticks below it, if it's a sell, that's when you put your sell stop. Okay, if it's a buy, when a downward trend line is broken, when that candlestick breaks, now you put a buy stop, just a few pips, just a few pips, or probably at the tip of the wick of that candlesticks that broke, or that is breaking the trend line to the upside. you put the buy stop there. Okay. Note that significant and obvious trend lines draws global attention. I like that. I like that. I think it's part of what I was explaining the other day when I say when you draw your trend line, many people from all over the world are watching the same thing, especially if you draw it on higher time frame and if you draw from the obvious peaks and troughs. Many people are watching the same thing, in the whole world. And so at least for some time, price will go in that direction because everybody is looking at trend line. People use trend line from all over the world to trade. So note that the significant and obvious trend line draw global attention, meaning majority millions of traders all over the world are watching for the price reaction at the touch of the trend line. So you should expect explosive movement. You should expect explosive movement. You should expect explosive movement. This is another strategy I'm going to be teaching in the next class. 3TP, 1WKD. Don't worry, we'll share that one in the next class. So it's important that you combine both trend line trading strategy and trend line breakout strategy. And so what I need you to do now is each of you will give me 10, 10 screenshots each. 10 screenshots for trend line bounce, that's TLS, trend line bounce strategy. Some of you have not submitted it, some of you have submitted. Those who have not submitted, you give me 10 screenshots. You use different material, you use gold, you use GBP USD, you use anything, any instrument to show me 10 bounce, 10 trend line bounce, and 10 trend line breakout strategy. Let me see if you can actually, if I can share my screen on a live class, and then let's see example. Okay, for example, let me show you the gold I traded today. Okay, let me show you the gold I traded today. Okay, let me show you the gold that I traded today. Okay, in fact, the screen is still here. Okay, the chart is still here. Okay, now the chart is still here. Let me share that screen with you quickly. That is the gold that we traded today. Are you still there? Do you want to see the gold we traded today, the strategy that we used to trade today? If you want to see it, right, I want to see it in the comment section. The analysis is still on the screen. I just want to show you the analysis on the screen. Okay, I want to show you the analysis on the screen. Okay, I want to show you the analysis on the screen. So if you want to see the gold analysis today that we use trend line and trend line breaker to trade, just say I want to see. Say I want to just type I want to see in the comment section. Or just type C. Just type C, SEE in the comment section so that I can show you. Wow. So let me share that strategy with you. Let me share the good strategy that we use today with you. Okay. No, not that one. I want to share. Okay, it's a window. Okay, so let's see this. This is what we traded today. Okay, you can see this was 9 a.m. today. So this was around 9 a.m. today. I entered this trade at the close of this candle today. I entered this trade at the close of this candle today, and then my stop loss was here. In fact, I can show you the results on my screen. Let me show you if you can see it on my screen. Let me show it to you. Let me show you. I don't know if you can see my screen here now. Can you see my screen? I don't know if I can show you my screen. If I can show you the trade for today. Can you see? Can you see that gold? I'm trying to see if you can see. Can you see that gold? That is the trade. That is the same trade I'm showing you today. That is the trade I took to. You can see. So you can see the gold there. Okay. And then you have I also traded boom 300 and volatility 75. So that is exactly what we traded today. So you can see this trend line, point 1, point 2, point 3. Okay, you see, this was today. This was exactly today. So then you can see point 1, and then I have point 2. I have the point 2. Sorry, I have the point 2. Okay, this was today. Then I have four. Then I have this there. And the thought of then you know this candle I used to tell you, a shooting star. Don't worry, I'll teach you this candle later on. The candles you look for at the third touch, the area of interest, the dawn zones. So I saw this candle today, and then it was a shooting star. And it was a shooting star. And so I enter. Do I waited for this? So this was telling me to sell, and then the opposite trend line here was broken here. So I enter a sell, and I know that okay, let me just come out from it because it was getting close to the end of the London session, and then take profit was there, and I was out of the market. Now look at trend line breakout, point 1, point 2. Look at it now. The price broke through the same trend line and then broke to the upside. Did you see? Price broke 1, 2, 3. This is like right. This is one of the things I will be teaching you in one of the next classes. Okay, price broke through this trend line. Okay, this upward trend line. Price broke it here. Imagine you have entered a buy. You imagine you enter a buy when this trend line broke, and then you will have caught this move. Very crazy move. Very very crazy move. Very crazy move. See, I'm also watching. I'm also watching the next. Look at what I'm planning to do next. Okay, if this line break to the downside, bro, I'm selling. I'm selling here. I'm selling. If this price break to this downside, that's the next move now. Okay, I'll just wait, break this trend line or break support. I'm selling again. If it happens that way, it doesn't happen, no problem. But that's the next thing we are looking at. Next thing we are looking at. That's the next analysis. Okay, so this is imagine today now you'll have made profit selling and make profit buying. You make profit by disobedience of the trend line. You make profit by disobedience of this trend line, so to speak. You make profit when the price obey the trend line, and you make profit when the price broke through the trend line to the upside. Imagine you made money in both ways. You made money in both ways. I didn't trade this because what happened? What happened? How was I trading this? I think I went to fill gas for one of the for the ACL of my car one of that time. Oh, where was I? 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 I didn't trade the New Year session today. Where was I? Think I was something kept me. Okay. But partly I went to the fill gas for AC of one of my SUVs, So that is how you'll have traded a sell and a buy at the same time today. So that's the analysis that have been that is how to use trend line breakout. Okay, use trend line breakout. You can see it here. Okay, price broke this and then price went up. You see, price broke this point 1, point 2, and at the top of the trend line, price broke the trend line and goes up again. My goodness, you will love it. I think I actually traded this. That was last week. I traded this. I bought at the close of this candle. I traded this. Okay. And then you have it that way and that way and that way and that way. Bro, traded it that way and that way and that way and that way. Okay. So that is the combination of the two strategies. And the last analysis I showed you that we used to trade today obviously combine the two strategy in a very profitable way. So price obeys it here and this stay long. Okay, and this is good. Don't worry, you'll have made a lot of money from me. At least you'll have come to break even, and then price broke this trend line and then to the upside. To the upside. Okay. So that's that for this night. I'll see you again in the next class. But don't forget to do my assignment. Give me 10 analysis of give me 10 uh 10 analysis 10 screenshot for trend line obedience, okay, trend line strategy, and then give me 10 screenshot, 10 analysis of trend line breakout strategy, 10, 10, 10, 10. Use any instrument of your choice, give me instances, then you're going to show me your entry, your stop loss, and your take profit. I think I've showed you that before. I'll show you on the trend line obedient trend line strategy. So I'll see you again in the next class. Thank you. Peace out.